concrete walls, these city lights. What I'm about to say, it won't make no sense, but I gotta get it off my chest. There's so much more than where you're from. It's in the fabric of your soul. I just wanna go home, where everybody knows me home, and I make all my memories home. I just wanna go
Hey, everybody, come on into the Cajun cooking experience. I'm just doing over here, just adjusting my fire over here. So before I start though, if you look in the comments, you'll see where I say welcome to the show. Those are all the channels that I'm live on. So if you want me to see your comments, please go in and make sure you're in one of those channels. Thank you. All right, Darren, what's happening, brother? So tonight, we're going to do a little crawfish etouffee. Something for Lent. I was thinking of something I could do that was like, but I really wanted. It's good. It's us. And crawfish is us. No doubt about it. What you say, Lucy? So I said, why not a crawfish etouffee? Thought about a crawfish stew. I said, you know, we'll save that for another time because I like to mix that with a little shrimp sometime. But a good crawfish etouffee. And what's good about this? Good Friday Lenten dish. Easy to do. Really easy to do. And if you're cooking for 2 people, 4 people, this is the way we're going to cook it tonight. Now, if you're cooking for a family, you're cooking for 12, 15, 20 people. There's another way of doing this. Some of my previous shows, I show that, where we would actually make a roux. But tonight, we're going to saute this, and we're actually going to etouffee this. Yeah, what's happening? So let's go ahead and get started and put some onions getting started. Now, I'm starting with butter tonight. That's why I'm really careful with my fire. One thing you have to worry about butter, that butter will separate. So you can overheat it real easy. What'd you say, Harvey? And one of the things, if I'm doing this with butter, if somebody wants to do it in a healthier way, they want to say to use some olive oil, this is the way to do it. Because olive oil and butter both will burn real easy. You have to really watch your temperatures on that when you're doing it. But it's going to make an awesome dish. Hollywood. And butter is the way that would be the French way of doing it. Cooking with a lot of French cooking was with butter. And for etouffee, I'd rather use butter than lard or any kind of other oils. Hey, Katie, all the way from St. Louis. Melissa. Well, Harvey, what's happening? Crawfish etouffee, Hollywood. So now we're just going to smother these onions down. And Melissa, before you beat me up now, I don't have any parsley tonight. I didn't get a chance to go shopping. Steven, I say salted or unsalted. This is actually salted butter. It really doesn't matter. I like to use the salted butter because I know how I want to control all my seasoning, so I'm okay with it. But some people that can't take salt, or some of the recipes that you do, especially for baking, calls for no salt butter. Use the one that you like to use, but I like the salted butter. Okay, we're just gonna get these onions going. One of the things that I'm gonna do over here, see these crawfish? They're getting ready to go in a little bit, and that's gonna be my sacrifice crawfish. I'm gonna sacrifice them to the gods. Because what I want them to cook. I want them to cook a lot in these onions. So what we're gonna do here with these onions, I'm gonna get them sauteed down real good, and we're gonna start building our gravy. I have my flour right here. That's gonna be my gravy builder. Once I get all this stuff smothered down real good, I'm gonna bring the flour on top of the onions. That'll help us build our roux. And this would be what they call the stewing process. Melissa, I'm going to plant extra parsley this spring and send you a few gallons for your freezer. I love you, Melissa. I go for it. Hey, look. bring me some of the plants and I'll plant them over here in my ice chest garden. That and shallots, that's all I need planted. I don't need anything else. Everything else I can get. You know how it is in Louisiana. Everybody grows a garden that's way too big for everything they can use. So I kind of like that. Virginia, hello from Florida. I made crawfish etouffee for a Mardi Gras party last night. Oh, yes, indeed. You can't go wrong with etouffee, Virginia. Well, Jeremy, watching from work. What's happening, brother? So, you know, we're in Lenten. We're in Lent. Today's Ash Wednesday. We get the ashes and all that. And so now we're getting to where no meat on Ash Wednesday. It's supposed to be Wednesday and Fridays. People have gotten Ash Wednesday and then every Friday. Now, we really suffer out here because we have to give up that ribeye steak to go out there and eat some boiled crawfish or boiled crabs. Man, we really suffering. We are a fried fish or fried shrimp po' boy. That is really a struggle. Man, we have it good. Yeah. Evelyn said hello. Oh, I love y'all too, brother. Tell her, make sure to tell her I said hello. Okay. They want to keep working these onions. So Lent started way back somewhere between the 2nd and 4th centuries. Yeah, it is pure torture, Darren. and what it was a fast, a period of fasting in preparation for Easter. That's all it was. So when they get ready for Easter, they would have this period of fasting, but there was no set time for it. The length varied. So it was just the way it started. Then in 325 AD, the Council of Nicaea said, hey, let's make it 40 days. So we went into this 40 days of Lent. And then we said, then Pope Gregory later on goes, hey, you know what? Let's start it on Ash Wednesday, because they didn't really have a start date, just a date before Easter. So they would do it 40 days before Easter. And he said, let's start on Ash Wednesday, 46 days before Easter. So that kind of changed things up there. And they would do, later on when he said, okay, we're going to make it 40 days. Even though we have those 46 days, we're not going to count Sunday. Boy, you want something controversial, get into this conversation. Sunday counts, Sunday doesn't count. And he would fast during the week, with the Sunday would be the feast day. And some of it even started where they were fasting going into baptism, which tells me right there that baptism wasn't for the babies then, it was for the adults, because you're not going to starve a baby for a week so he can get baptized. The fast would be anywhere from a day all the way to a week. And you're not going to do that with a baby. How the local crawfish crop looking for this spring and fashion? I think it's going to be a good crop, Rick. I think it's going to be a real good crop. What do you say, Brian? Oh, yeah. My favorite sound. Bob, y'all can smell that butter in here right now. That butter is slamming. Hey, Jacqueline. So we're going to keep this rolling. Now, as I have this going, I'm going to bring these sacrificed crawfish in. And these are all Louisiana crawfish. All right, rolling. All Louisiana crawfish. I'm not going to use any other kind. Now, hard to get once you get out of Louisiana. So if you're going to use imported crawfish, then they're going to cook a little different. They're going to take a little longer to cook. These crawfish here, when I get Louisiana, packs of Louisiana crawfish, I will not throw that fat away. I don't know about the ones that are coming from China and all that. I don't know if I'd use that fat. Give me y'all opinion on that. I would never do it. So I'm just not sure where this stuff is coming from. I'm going to lower this fire a little bit, because I have to watch it with this butter now. Yeah, would you drink it tonight? That Bodella? Oh, hell yeah, brother. Rooney, what's happening? Might as well give a toast. Through the clouds, man. Oh, Mike, what's up, brother? That's right. It was great meeting you today. So let me tell you what I had. I had a bus tour today. Buses, American Cruise Line does dock here in Bastrop, and every now and then I get the honor of being the tour guide. And of course, I tell everybody, hey, I'm gonna be live tonight. Tune in. And it's something I really love to do, because I introduce them to the history and culture, our culture and our history of our area. And it's just a lot of fun and getting the chance to meet people from all over the world. Let's see. Jeremy, always ship mine up. The Chinese variations are to be nice junk. Thank you, Jeremy. And that is being very nice. All right. So I'm just cooking these down, letting these crawfish cook down really good. That's what I want. So by the 4th century, like I said, we'd already extended this to 40 days. What did that 40 days represent? So, that 40 days, that represented something. And that represented like Moses. Moses climbing the mountain. He stayed up on the mountain for 40 days till he got the commandments. You had Elijah, who walked 40 days to get to God's mountain. And you also had Jesus, walk 40 days in the desert, 40 days and 40 nights. And you had Noah, whose ark floated for 40 days and 40 nights, the great flood. So all this 40 had a meaning. Oh, man, this is looking good. I'm going to go ahead and bring my garlic in. And I'm going to bring my mushrooms in. And my celery in. And I'm going to smother all this down a little bit before I bring my flour in. I just want to get this all smothered down a little bit in here. Now, what kind of seasons you put in? Man, that's up to you. Like I said, Cajun cooking is about cooking the way you like it, and it's cooking from your heart. Main thing is just use all these fresh ingredients. Now, because it's Lent, because it's Ash Wednesday, we got to suffer. We got to suffer not to have this meat. I'm not going to have any smoked meats in it. But what I thought about was smoking me some onions. But I said, no, I'm going to make me a crawfish. Make me a pure, clean crawfish etouffee. And then Lent going from 46 days, 40 to 46 days, that happened around 600 AD. Oh, man, if y'all can smell this stuff in here. Oh, Lord. Got to make an adjustment to this fire again. Okay. We got some flavor in this pot. All I can tell you. Joanne, that's a nice way to put it about the Chinese. Pure trash, more like it. Yep. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if you go in a restaurant, you're probably going to eat Chinese crawfish. Economics. So if you're going to have a crawfish stew or something, and I would ask straight up, I'd ask them to see one of their packs before I would order crawfish stew or something like that in the restaurant. I know we had to cook it with Chinese crawfish only because we just couldn't charge. We couldn't get the price for the Louisiana. And I would tell people, we have to be honest about it. We can't lie about that. Yeah, but let you know if I need help. I need help, and you go drive down. Man, what a nice guy. You're all right, brother. And if you look in this pot, you see I'm building my gravy up. I'm getting a little brown color down here. Let's go ahead and peek in that pot. And you can see that brown gravy building up. And this is going to help with my etouffee. A lot of flavor in this pot right now. And if y'all remember, my little clicker broke. I got to reach over now and switch my cameras. It didn't break. I dropped it in my glass of beer. So the word Lent, it actually derives from the Anglo-Saxon word for springtime. So Lent was actually associated with springtime. And also in many languages, it's rooted in the Latin, meaning 40. So it has different meanings. And then ashes were used on the first day to symbolize repentance and morality. A lot of history in our Lenten process. The official beer tester. Hell, you ain't got to test. I'm going to pour you one, brother. Go have your own bottle. And to show you how all this kept evolving, the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, it said Easter. They always love this on the Sunday following the first full moon after the vernal equinox. Always love when I read that. And also, it was also acknowledgement. You had a 40-day prep period leading up to the Holy Sunday, but they did not mandate it. It was strictly optional. And they've given you those 40 days, 6 days. The Sunday didn't apply. Fasting did not apply. And look, I talked to some of my people, my grandparents' age. This was serious. Wednesdays and Fridays, strictly fasting. And some people, and they still do it today, once you hit Holy Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you don't eat the Sunday morning. You don't eat the Easter after church. I'd have me one bad growling stomach. Okay, now I'm going to bring a little flour in this pot. This is going to help me, kind of like making a roux, but also going to help me build my gravy. And this total is a half a cup right here. And I'm going to see if I'm going to bring the whole thing. So what you want to do, you just want to get this brown to the bottom of the pot. And it's going to give you a little light roux, but also help you thicken your gravy. Now, if you want to do this without a roux, feel free. Some people don't put a roux in Crawfish Etouffee. And then if I was making an Etouffee, and let's say I was going to feed 20, 30 people, I'd be making a bigger roux. I'd have made the roux first. You know, first you make a roux. So, but this right here, this is going to feed, I'm going to eat on this all week. So this is good if you have a small family, you just want to feed everybody a little something, but you don't want to have a lot of leftovers. This is a good way to do it. Make sure it's nice and brown. We don't eat white gravy and rice. You got that right, brother. You learned that today, huh? I told them on the bus. I said, everybody else northern United States, and that'd be north of I-10, northern United States, they make white biscuits and gravy. I said, you can bring it down here, and it can set fireworks off. It can make you feel like you're 20 years younger. It can make you feel like Hercules. We're not going to eat it down here because it's not brown. Period. And it might taste great. Darren, do you add a little shrimp dust in your etouffee? Not in the crawfish, Darren. Not in the crawfish. I'll do it in the shrimp, but not in this one. Now, if you want to add it, absolutely. No problem. But I want the pure crawfish taste here. Really enjoy listening to you tell the history of different foods. Thank you, Sammy. I appreciate that. Something I love to research. So what to eat for Lent was tied to economics also. And I remember this a few years ago when I did this show and doing some research, and I couldn't find it this time, but let's say right here, we have fisheries. You know, South Louisiana, we had a lot of fishermen. We had a lot of fisheries going on, and you came up for Lent and said, okay, 40 days of Lent, nobody can eat seafood. How do you think that would have gone over? Because it would have killed your economy. It would have killed restaurants. So now, let's say you have a place where you have a lot of meat eaters because your main business, your main economy is meat. It's probably going to be something different you give up for Lent. And it's all about the sacrifice of giving something up. We just happen to suffer giving up meat. We just had biscuits and white gravy last night for dinner. It's funny because they ain't gonna eat it out here. All right, just about ready to start bringing me some stock in. You know, whoa, cut that string. Now what I'll do is bring my bell peppers in. All right. Something about this pot, every time I use it, I catch the fire towel on fire. Prayers for Lent season for all of us. All right, Sharon. And I can tell you, when I had the restaurant open, probably my first 22, 23 years, we didn't sell hamburger on Fridays and none on Ash Wednesday. But about the last 5 years, I saw that fading. So I saw that fading, and I don't know what the reason was. Maybe different reasons. Some young people really didn't follow it. And also, once you're over 65, I believe, or over 60, you don't have to do those traditions anymore. It could have been a combination of those two things. All right. Now, another thing, this is definitely optional. I'm going to bring a little rotel in. You don't have to bring this in. Some people like a little tomato. That would make it a little, if you bring the tomato in, it'll be more like a Creole Etouffee. But I'm just bringing a little rotel. Still get your Cajun touch to it. Oh, yeah. I'm going to show you the bottom of this pot before I bring the gravy in. You see we got this little scratch down here? The little grimy. All right. This is flavor. Now we're going to bring our stock in. We're going to get this going. And once I get this gravy cooking good, what I'm going to do is bring in the rest of my crawfish. One thing about this dish, it doesn't take long to cook. And that's what's good about it. A lot of people don't have time to cook from scratch. This is an easy one to cook from scratch. And this is one that you put in an ice box, next day it's going to taste better. Oh, Bones. Bones, are you damn right? You got to make a trip, brother. So one of the things that we cook, I didn't have any today, but one of the traditions in the Catholic world out here, especially down in our river parishes, is cooking crepe for Ash Wednesday. And that crepe, like they say, originated actually in Brittany region of northwest France. And that was during the 13th century. I like to use home-cooked stewed tomatoes from my garden. It has parsley in it, and I put in the tomatoes. Thank you, Melissa. But yeah, that would be a lot better, Melissa. Thank you. So the crepe, one time, that was actually a peasant staple. And it evolved from a thin buckwheat porridge, and it was called galettes. Now, the legend says that the housewife actually spilled accidentally some buckwheat porridge onto a flat skillet, a hot flat skillet, and it created this thin pancake. And that's where the crepes came in. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But it sounded good though. Okay, let me make sure I got my fire up. And buckwheat thrive in the region of the poor areas because it grew very well in a poor soil because they had poor soil where they was. Okay, we want to get this back to a boil. And once it boils, it's going to start thickening up. Jacqueline says she can smell it in her mind. Oh, man. This stuff is smelling good. I'm not going to lie to y'all. And I find it better if you cook the etouffee with butter because you're not bringing this up to a high temperature. If you're going to cook something with high temperature, it's hard to use butter. You can't. It's going to separate. It's going to burn. But this, because we're not bringing it up to super high temps, this etouffee does really well with butter. And to me, it tastes better with butter. Now, the word Lent the word crepe came from the French cresp, derived from the Latin crispus, meaning curled or crisp. Think about when you cook a crepe and it curls up or it gets real crispy around the edges. So that was one of the places, the meanings of it. And there was superstition behind cooking crepe. If you took a gold coin in your left hand, while cooking it with your right hand, it was going to ensure wealth and prosperity for the coming year. So you see, you didn't have to eat all them greens for New Year's. And another thing that the crepes, what they represented, it was something called La Chandeleur. And in France, February 2nd is known as, we're trying to say this word, Le Jour des Crêpes, or the Day of the Crepes. And it traditionally marked the end of winter where the families eat crepes to celebrate. So they were bringing in the spring. The winter's over. Hallelujah. We've got enough. You got to think in northern France, this stuff is cold up there. So the spring is coming in and they're getting in good weather. Michael, I wish I could have some of it tonight. Totally agree that cooking shrimp, crawfish, and crab always tastes better using butter. Yep. Mild buttery flavor. That's it, Melissa. Now you got it. Okay. Now we got to let this thicken up before we bring our crawfish in. The one thing I like about scald crawfish, I like to pick them. Love to pick them. Okay. Oh, man. So where did this crawfish etouffee come from? Where did it start? Sherby, wanted to let you know I made crawfish etouffee for my co-workers in Alabama, and they loved it. Oh, hell yeah. They got some of that Cajun loving. So it originated in Bro Bridge, and that was the hot spot for it. Now, the folklore says in the 1920s at Hebert Hotel, old Frenchman came in and asked the lady, like the owner of the hotel, if she could, and I'm sure they talk in French, if she could etouffee some crawfish or fix him a dish. So she etouffeed him some crawfish. Etouffee, that fancy word for smother. And he loved it, so she put it on the menu. And then it just kept, she kept it on her menu, and word started getting around, and they liked it. And then later on, around the 50s, 40s, 50s, this thing took off in the Bro Bridge area. And it was cooked around there. Didn't make it to New Orleans until Paul Prudhomme actually brought it to New Orleans. He's the one that actually introduced New Orleans to that Cajun culture because everybody was cooking French cooking. Everybody had the same thing, French cooking. So he brought that etouffee, and the rest is history. And like I told my people on the bus, what's the difference between a crawfish etouffee in New Orleans and one in Vacheron? One in New Orleans, it's a fancy name, crawfish etouffee, real nice on the menu. Gives you a nice little worded description. You can go to AI and get you a good worded, good description. And it's going to be $20. So crawfish etouffee with some pretty on the side and maybe a little piece of French bread. Over here in Vacheron, you're going to pay half the price for it. We're going to call it smothered crawfish, and you're going to eat it. It's going to taste a lot better. No, I'm not saying it tastes a lot better, but it's all smothered crawfish. It's all it is. Now, crawfish, very high in nutrition, very high in protein and low in calories. Now, don't think of the way we cook them. Just saying the crawfish as it is. It's low in fat and saturated fat. It is a diet. So any diet rich in seafood, so claimed research shows that could possibly reduce Alzheimer's, angina, stroke, asthma, heart disease, and cancer. But be willing to bet the way we cook our seafood, and them bets are probably all off and all that. I can't believe we're going to be sucking them heads and pinching them tails and getting all that crawfish juice down there. And that's going to cure anything. All right. Oh, yeah. Now, one bad thing about the crawfish, they were a huge threat to the levees. Pete, how long ago did we start eating crawfish? Thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, Native Americans. You go back in the caves, tens of thousands of years ago, you go back in the caves and they actually show pictures of people catching crawfish with a string line with a piece of deer meat, okay? So, but crawfish were a threat to the levees. Right now, we have these big cement mats that go down the levee, help protect the levee. When that river's up, those crawfish, and I can tell you this for people that have crawfish ponds, and we had that, my father-in-law had this trouble, that the crawfish would burrow into the levee. Now, water in the river is flying, it's coming down. And there's a higher, the water goes up, the faster your current. When it starts eating through that levee, this is where you start running into trouble. You start seeing dirty water on the other end, you had a possible crevasse, which was the blowout of the levee. And this was the danger of crawfish to the levees, because there's a lot of crawfish in the Mississippi River, and they're big crawfish. Jeff, Evelyn and I were driving through a few months back, and the gator ran out in front of our car. Tried to get her to stop so I could catch it. Yeah, well, after you caught it, you had to put it in the car. That's why she wasn't stopping, brother. What's up, Bishop Bernard? Just in Bash this past weekend, I was looking for you, my man. Man, where was I? Saturday, I was open, brother. I had a catering job Saturday morning, so I didn't get back to about 1 o'clock. But in Louisiana, we have the best seafood in the world. Something we have to remember. We are very blessed. And nearly a third of the crawfish, the seafood, a third of the seafood consumed in the United States is caught in Louisiana waters. Now, what scares me is this tradition is dying because the next generation is just not going to keep it going like so many other things. And the fishery is getting beaten up by imports. There's no reason for a young person to keep that going. It's really a shame. So I don't know what the future holds for it, but we have the best seafood in the world. Oh, Sheriff Claude. Yes, indeed, we're going to keep on cooking, brother. But people come from all over the world to eat our crawfish because nobody in the world cooks it like people in Louisiana. And our Cajun tradition of cooking it is second to none. And it's unique. That's the thing. Now we're just letting this gravy thicken up. Oh, yeah. Ooh, man, this is smelling good. Now I'm going to start bringing a little bit of seasoning in. It's a little early. I'm going to bring a little salt in, a little pink Himalayan salt, a little black pepper, a little cayenne. And y'all know I got to show our cane farmers a little loving. Y'all know that. Nothing like a little loving for the cane farmers. All right. So with crawfishing, up until about the 60s, we weren't really big. People in the United States didn't know what crawfish was. Nobody was eating it. It was just the locals. The commercial market was really down. Poor Creole, what happened? So in 1968, people may remember him. The guy name was Bert Nogel. What's up, Randy Bill? And he promised to build the crawfish industry. So it was only 4 to 5 million pounds in 1968. He said, I'm going to build this industry to 20 to 25 million pounds. Now remember that number, 20 to 25 million. So what he did, he made it where it was consistent. He went to USL, University of Lafayette, and he said, look, we're going to go over here. We're going to make a consistent, uniform way of promoting our crawfish, marketing our crawfish. We're going to make consistent recipes and also consistent packaging. Louisiana, they came up with the Louisiana symbol. Louisiana, the product of Louisiana. That's the one you want. And through that, it went from that 20 to 25 million he targeted. Right now, you're 170 million plus pounds a year. So he really set the world on fire. He wasn't kidding. And it was all about that marketing, the consistent message, instead of everybody trying to do their own thing. And the crawfish, 88% of the crawfish actually is caught in aquaculture ponds. And only 12% are caught in the wild. And that number, that was a number that was looked up a couple of years ago. It actually may be less in the wild now. And our biggest wild market is coming out the Chafalaya Basin. So Louisiana is definitely the largest producer of crawfish. Other states have crawfish. They definitely have it. Some states it's against the law to catch them or take them away from their natural waters. Julia, what's the difference between regular salt and Himalayan salt? The pink Himalayan salt is supposed to be a cleaner salt. That's it. And it's just a cleaner salt. I like to use it. And it gives it some color. Oh, so thank you, Randy. I'm going to talk about this in a minute. So the value of the crawfish market today is more than $172 million. So the economic impact of crawfishing is huge. And that went from crawfish for the poor people, for those cages, you know, them people over there, those people over there that talk that funny language and they're ignorant and all that. Yeah, that's where that came from. And only the Cajuns were eating the crawfish, and the rich people, the people with money, would, we're not eating no crawfish. That's the poor man's food. And that is the truth. But I still say behind that plantation house, they were sucking them heads and pinching them tails. Mineralized without the iodine. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate that. I knew it was cleaner. So Randy put a comment about the crawfish hunt. And I actually have a trophy that I received as Spuddy Fauché Cajun Cooking Experience for excellent crawfish hunting. And I'm getting ready to post this. Hey, Vicky. So I'm getting ready to post this again, boiling 10,000 crawfish on YouTube. You want to know about the crawfishing process? Look up that YouTube video. But so when Randy, I was taking a tour guide class with Randy, and a lady called, and they wanted to do a show, a YouTube video, and they wanted it on something unique in Louisiana. You know, she told me, asked Randy about oyster po' boys, shrimp po' boys. You wanted something out of the box. Randy said, man, you so far in the box, you can't even. So she came up with crawfishing. She said, well, we want to go hunt crawfish. And this has always been an ongoing joke between me and Randy. So he actually bought me a trophy as a crawfish hunt. Okay, before I put this other crawfish in, rolling smoke, barbecue, and cooking. What's happening? Oh, man. We're going to get a little taste of this gravy before I eat the crawfish. Oh, hell yeah. Now that crawfish, when I dumped those crawfish in, I still had the juice from those packs of crawfish, all the fat. That's where your fat is. Man, whatever you do, don't rinse those crawfish and don't throw that away. You see, I took the rest of that flavor out of that pan. Don't ever throw that away. In each one of those packs, I took the crawfish out. After I dumped it, I put a little water in those packs and rinsed it out and added it to there. I don't let any flavor get out of there. No way that flavor is getting away. Now, unfortunately, 94% of the crawfish is imported from other countries. So if you want to know if you get Louisiana crawfish or not, you got to check the origin. You got to check the country of origin. You have to see on the pack. Now, some of them will have, you have to watch it. They make it look like it's Louisiana crawfish. We saw one advertised in the paper this week. I'm putting no big print Louisiana, packed in Louisiana. But it's real small print. And if you don't have your glasses, you're not going to see it. You know what you're going to have? Origin of China. We'll have the country of origin. Randy, the trophy is from the Delgado tour guide class. That's it. One of the best classes I've ever taken. With a damn good teacher. So now, we're going to let these crawfish étouffee now. Feenie, my favorite sister. Bring us a taste Saturday. You got it, little sister. Feenie, you mean you're going to eat this with all these greens in it? I can't believe. I can't believe in it. You just saw I put some green in there, girl? Oh, Pootie. Pootie, we got a little crawfish étouffee going, brother. Like I said, if I want to stretch this further, I'd have made a rule before I started. This right here is going to give me a true étouffee. It's going to give me some really heavy crawfish tails in here and a really good crawfish taste in this dish. Now I got to get this up. So what people were doing back in the time, back in the 1700s, 1800s, you read about people eating crawfish. What they were doing, they would have somebody peel them, and they would cook the crawfish tails. But you didn't see a lot of recipes. You didn't see a lot of articles on people eating crawfish. Boiling crawfish after World War II. After World War II, you started seeing the newspapers about crawfish balls. Doesn't mean we weren't balling crawfish out here in the river parishes, because I can't find those newspapers. But in the city, in New Orleans and all, they weren't balling crawfish. No articles about ball crawfish to after World War II. That's something that came along after. And you know, growing up in St. Rose, we actually had a simple crawfish recipe: salt, some red pepper, and those little bag of seeds from Zatarain, and maybe a little liquid crab ball. That was it. Recipe was simple. And because if they had any crawfish ball and that cost extra money, my daddy wouldn't go buy it. That was taken away from the beer money. But now it's gotten so we're putting so many different crab balls and crab ball mixtures in that we really don't know what we're putting in here anymore. I still ball mine with just salt and red pepper. And what I do before I ball it, I'll put some lemons and onions in the water way ahead and just let that ball, that lemon, the oils out that lemon make a big difference in that pot. Some celery, carrots, anything like to make that little bouillon in that pot. And the crawfish pick up that flavor. Shrimp and crab balls in the city win, Randy. Because I couldn't find any articles on it. Hey, where you at, cuz? What's happening, Vicky? Brian, where y'all caught the crawfish? So these are all just Louisiana. I can't tell you where they got caught. But the ones we caught for that show were actually my father-in-law and brother-in-law's crawfish pond right here in Vacherie. It's no longer there, but that's where we caught them at. And it was these people were from Minnesota, but they actually came down. They were living in Vietnam. And they came down to film in the United States. I was the first show in the United States. And they only did about 5 or 6 shows in the United States. And they went back and they never came back. COVID hit not long after that. And they stayed in Asia. I'm trying to think of the name of the channel. I think it's Best Ever Food Review, something like that. But the guy's name was Sonny. Great bunch of people. And it was fun to do. And he's got some crazy stuff. You want to see some crazy stuff? People eat crazy stuff? Watch his channel. Best Ever Food Review Show. I can't remember, something like that. Just look up balling 10,000 crawfish. Now, one of the things crawfish was used for, the Omas tribe, which at one time, they were where Homer's house is now, and eventually made it down to Homer. But the Omas tribe, Omas means red. That Omas tribe was actually taking and painting the red crawfish on themselves when they went to battle. Why? Crawfish are fearless. Crawfish rears back, you can step on it. He's not going to give up. He's not giving in. You're going to have to kill him. If he grabs you like this, unless you pull that claw off, he's not letting go. They're just fearless. What are your thoughts on dusting the crawfish after balling unseasoned water? A trend in Lafayette. So, Stephen, let me tell you something. I used to do that. I'm going to tell you the complaint I got. The complaint I got is people got it and eating it. Your hands are on fire. So it gets all over in your hands. It gets in your pores. And I know that's true. And look, it tastes good. There's nothing wrong with the taste, but I'm really not a fan of it because if you're going to eat a lot of crawfish, your hands are going to be on fire. But, you know, to each his own. I mean, it's not terrible. And what I found is that people wasn't eating as much because they were getting too much seasoning from the outside of the crawfish. But it is a hot thing. The guy I bought the place from, that's what he used to do. He taught it to me. Like I said, I did it for about a couple years, and I went back to boiling it in the water. But there's nothing wrong with it. I can tell you from boiling crawfish all day that the pepper that I would put, and then just be in that room with that pepper boiling in the air all day, the pepper would get in my pores, all my arms would be on fire. And that's what putting that outside the shell. That's what it was doing. Spillway? No, I used to catch in a spillway a long time ago, Brian. River come up, and the Bonnet Carry spillway, river comes up, they open the spillway, river goes down, you hit them pockets of water, catch all the crawfish you want. Hit the pocket, and then Be done. Lucy, best ever food review show. That's the channel. Guy's name is Sonny. They were a great, great crew to work with. And if anybody knows me, they know once I get started, I don't stop. So we filmed 12 hours. The show's 19 minutes long. We filmed for 12 hours. We took a lunch break. And the guys that were the two camera guys, they were laying down on the chairs. They were sleeping. Once they had a half hour for lunch, I slammed the table. Told them, time to get up and get back to work, boy. Let's go. And they told me that's the most film they ever shot. Those little video calls, they went through 2 of them. And they stopped at 8 o'clock that night. We started 8 o'clock that morning, and we stopped at 8 o'clock that night. Yeah, those crawfish tails are thirsty. Oh, now we're going to get thirsty. Why is this? See? Thank you, right? Got to give them a little Modella. Everybody needs loving. So now, let me just do a little French bread dip. Now, I can tell you, if you were doing this with the Chinese crawfish, you're going to cook this twice as long. Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm all shook up. All right. I'm checking not only for seasoning, but for tenderness of the tails. Now, how far down you want to cook this? Strictly up to you. Remember, it's going to taste a lot better. Be careful with your seasoning. Tomorrow, it's going to be a lot better. That seasoning is going to get intense. I had some people come do my Cajun cooking experience last week, and they made a gumbo at their house. When they came over here, and I was telling them the gumbo tastes better the next day. They said they found that out because they seasoned the gumbo to perfection for the day of eating. The next day, they couldn't eat it. It was too salty. You have to be careful with your seasoning on stuff that you have roux base that's going to carry over to the next day. Michelle from Australia. So glad I didn't miss it today. Michelle, me too, man. Oh, Joey. Lord, y'all. Oh, man. A little touch of salt. A little touch of black pepper. And that's going to be all my seasoning. Now, a few raw eggs. Lord, that would be kicking. You got that right, Melissa. Thank you, Dino. I didn't think about the eggs. One more dip on the French bread. And when we do the Cajun cooking experience, when we cook the jambalaya, I always have a couple of things of French bread out. One of the things I let them do after they make their gravy is dip their bread. That's when they know they've nailed it. That's when they know they have really cooked a really good dish. Oh, I feel good. Man. Oh, Lord. Got a nice little gravy down here. A lot of crawfish tails. This is not a wish dish. You don't have to wish you had some crawfish. I'm going to put some over rice. Glad I didn't miss it. That's one of my favorites. Miss Rose was cooking for us in college. There you go, Mark. Okay. Man, you can't go wrong, brother. I had the supper tonight, had crawfish biscuits over baked potato. Joy, that's terrible. But you did tell me something. This would go really well over a baked potato. And tomorrow, I'm actually going to put this in a wrap. I'm going to make me a little wrap with this. What's up, Smurf? Thank you, brother. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, Get y'all some Louisiana tails. Now, you can do the same thing with shrimp. Crawfish, unfortunately, rather expensive in Australia. Yeah, they're expensive over here now. These tails right here, when I bought them, $15 a pound. Oh, Lord. Man, this is so good it make you call it Lord. Man, a little bit more stock to this. I cook it a little bit more. Now, what I'm doing too is that I'm going to put this in the icebox tonight. So I want this to be a little loose because tomorrow it's going to tighten up in that icebox tonight. And you don't want it too thick where you have to add water. You don't have to add water to it. I have a nice little gravy here over some fried catfish with that crawfish. Oh, Lord. Fried catfish, baked catfish, or some fried sacole, baked sacole, whatever you want. That would go fantastic with this. Bring the rest of that stock. Now look, my stock, so worth it though. Oh, hell yeah, Michelle. So my stock is chicken. It's chicken stock. You know, we're not supposed to have meat today, but I figured that's liquid chicken. It don't count. Oh, Sassy, put it in the cooler. You got it, baby. Now you're talking. Sassy had always made fun of me the way I say cooler. Oh, now one more taste. Got me a little quinoa. One of my favorite things I like to eat. See, I'm just showing you. I had two different things right here. I put it on. Let's go ahead and check in the pot. Oh, look at that, boy. Look at here, look at here, look at here. Woo! Love it over fried catfish. Oh, yes, indeed. You serve this over pasta. Let's say potato, fried catfish. Oh, I put it over good fried soft shell crab. Oh, man. Yeah, Michael, that's a good idea. Oh, no, I put it in, Melissa. I just didn't put it all in. I had more cut than I really wanted. But you know, it don't hurt to put the rest, though. Something else you can do, you see? Hey, Melissa, how you doing? Been a long time. So something else you can do is make you a little poor boy. Stuff it. Stuff it, baby. Stuff it. Ooh. Mike, thank you for this idea. Holy cow. Oh, I got this one. Oh, man. Y'all. Oh, okay. So if anybody remembers from the 70s, had that song, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. 50 Ways to Use Your Etouffee. I got a question for everyone. Did your parents ever make tomatoes and eggs side of ice cold tuna for Lent? I never had that. Oh, Melissa, you got the flu. That ain't good. That ain't good at all. Okay, my last part, last little stock going in. Let this cook a little bit more. My tails are just about done, and this is going to be a wrap. There y'all go. Good Lenten dish Crawfish Etouffee. Can't get better than this. And this right here is an easy dish, but you don't only have to do it with crawfish. You can do it with shrimp. You can do it with chicken if you want. You make a chicken etouffee. Anything you want. But for Lenten dish, and I call this a special treat because it's not going to be something that you're going to cook every day, because crawfish you almost have to take a loan. We'll get a loan to get them now. When I was selling crawfish, we used to sell ball crawfish. Selling ball crawfish at $1 a pound. And I'd get complaints because I was too high. And today, we're paying and buying them at $6 a pound. Wow. The season actually started at $10 a pound. So y'all, oh, I forgot one thing. We forgot to put one thing in before we leave. We got to give it a little Louisiana loving, baby. Oh, my crawfish etouffee was going to be mad at me. There it is. So y'all, that's it. Thank y'all for watching tonight. Love y'all all the way from the crawfish hunting capital of the world. Hey, Lord. So we'll see y'all next Wednesday. I think I'm going to come live. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I will see y'all next Wednesday. Love y'all. God bless y'all. And y'all have a great, great Lent. Thank you, Brian.
I don't cry when it rains no more, or I get dirt on my shoes. I don't mind climbing 8 more floors, 'cause these stairs are all heading